All right, questions for Merritt and Rebekah?
We'll give Merritt some more time. Rebekah, talk about how big those runs were. I know you weren't on the court, but how big were those runs in each of the early on in the 3 sets to establish kind of the tone with what you wanted to do on the court?
Yeah, I think they're everything. With that high level of a team, even just a 2-point lead is a game changer. So when you can secure something higher than that, I think it gives us a lot of wiggle room, and I think you could also see us loosen up more, try different things. But at this high level of volleyball, getting a huge lead it's a game changer. Yeah.
Merritt, you're at the service line for one of those runs too. I mean, what's going through your mind back there when you're running points off against a team of the stature of Wisconsin?
Yeah. I told myself I'm going to get an ace every time. I think it just kind of helps stay aggressive. We all have our little individual routines that we do probably 1,000 times a week, to be honest. And so just staying in that routine and staying aggressive, we knew that serving was going to be a big part of this match, just like the last time that we played them was. And so, I mean, they're great attackers, and that's kind of how you negate that and make it a little bit easier on blockers and defenders. And so we knew that it was going to be really important that we stayed aggressive from the service line. So I would say all of us are just going back there, doing our routine, but staying aggressive for sure.
Rebekah, what did it mean to you to have one of your best offensive matches tonight to send your seniors out with the win?
I mean, they're my why. So, sorry. Oh, you're good. I made it very clear in the beginning of season that I was very honored to have people that I could dive into and give myself to, and so I threw my hair up in the go-to buns, and I was just trying to play comfortable and just play with love, and obviously the night's about them, but I'm grateful that it worked out for me in this way. But they're my why, and so I was grateful that it showed tonight. So.
Merritt, what do you think of all the plays that Becca was able to win at the net and what that was able to do to change the match?
I mean, she does those all the time in practice. You guys just don't see them. So, I mean, it just isn't a testament to just how I think when you think about Becca playing volleyball, the first thing that comes to my head is like owning the net. And I think that's exactly what you guys saw tonight, whether it's blocking or an overpass or things like that. Like, Becca is the most aggressive person in those situations that I know. She's like, I am killing this ball or I am stuffing this ball. And so I think you guys just got to see a little bit more of it, but she does that day in and day out.
Merritt, what did tonight and really just the last 2 years here, what has that meant to you?
I mean, in simple words, everything. Like, these girls took me in at a time when, to be quite honest, like, I hated volleyball. I didn't want to continue playing volleyball. I wasn't super confident in Merritt as a human being, and these girls and this coaching staff and all the support staff took me in and allowed me to flourish in who Merritt is and accepted me for who Merritt is and helped me find the love of volleyball again. And so, I mean, there's countless memories in history that was made, but I think that alone is what I'll forever be thankful for. And that was something that I didn't know if I would ever get back. And so, I mean, everything. That's something that you can't replicate in life afterwards. Sports are something that very few people get to do at this high of a level, and they don't really understand. But, I mean, it's something that I'll never be able to fully explain. But, yeah, I mean, I owe a lot to these girls and coach and the rest of the staff, and something that I'll for sure forever be grateful for.
This is a question for both of you, but when we look at the Wisconsin match specifically, this team, I mean, Nebraska sweeps Wisconsin twice in one season. You've done something pretty impressive with this match, with a pretty storied rival since Nebraska joined the Big Ten over the last 2 seasons. What has maybe this team been able to do that has kind of like tackled those big challenges like this matchup that has eluded so many teams before?
Yeah, I think, well, this one probably meant a little bit more for each of us. No one wanted to lose on senior night, so this one was definitely, there's a little more, I don't know, like a little more passion behind it tonight, but I think just one thing that this team has done a really good job of is like not overcomplicating that it's Wisconsin. And also holding coach to that as well, because a lot of times when you go play your rival school, everyone freaks out. And it's like, oh gosh, we have to play perfect. But that's something that this team has really tapped into, and coach and the rest of the staff have also tapped into, is like truly treating it like it's just another match in the Big Ten. And I know you guys heard coach talk about that a little bit as well. But I think that's been our biggest thing, is like, okay, sure, it's Wisconsin. We're going to play volleyball. We play volleyball every single day. And obviously they're a great team, but I think that mindset has helped us a ton of like not taking it too seriously. And we do this for hours every single day.
Yeah, and just to backpack off of that, on the hours that we do every day, I don't think people understand the standard that we hold ourselves to. Not even as volleyball players, but as women. I mean, Coach, he has this way of imprinting his standards into your life, what you post on Instagram, the kind of way you dress, just honestly the kind of person that you want to be outside the gym. And we are just so freaking hard on ourselves. And it makes going against people like that, it's like, okay, yeah, you can bounce a ball, but we're going to do so many other things that you will not be able to do. And so I just think when you live in a culture where it's already such a high demand to be perfect in all these different ways, it makes playing game, like honestly, game days are time to chill. Because we go so hard in practice, and practice sometimes feels like perfection. And so games, we expect errors. So, I mean, if you want to come play for Nebraska, it's no easy thing to take on. But it makes playing teams like Wisconsin, like Merritt said, like any other team.
Final questions? Rebekah, how fun was it? I mean, the second largest crowd in Devaney. I mean, Wisconsin did get close. It seemed like the crowd kind of encouraged you on. How fun was it out there with this big of crowd?
I love it. It's like a big reunion. It's like, all right, guys, we need you to lock in, like, help us out. But it's always a gift. Husker Nation, they're so in tune with the game. They're with the ebbs and flows of it all, and you don't see that in other gyms. They know when to celebrate, but Husker Nation can tell when we're kind of in a rut, and they cheer. Like, you don't see that in other gyms. And so I'm very grateful to be part of a program that actually knows, or the fans that actually know volleyball. I think that's so fun.
Rebekah, Wisconsin is hitting almost 300 this year, and you guys have held them much lower than that for these last couple of games against them. What has been the key defensively to kind of stifle them?
I'd say for middles, our biggest thing is patience. So we have a lot going on our scouting report, and it can be very easy to kind of chase that tail. But the biggest thing is it's like, you know, they're very talented. So if they make an adjustment, we don't freak out. They're most likely going to fall back into their tendency in the next swing. So the biggest thing is solid communication with Jalen. He is so good about the scouting report and tendencies. And so falling back into that, but the biggest thing with us is just using our resources, not trying to do it all by yourself, and just constant communication. We talk about everything. The exact same play could happen, and we're going to talk about everything.
Merritt, I talked to your dad before the game, and he said the first time he took you to a volleyball match, you lost 25-0. The same girl served the whole time.
Yeah.
Would
What?
little Merritt believe that you'd be where you are right now?
No.
Wow.
Little Merritt hoped to go to community college right down the road. And being from Alabama, volleyball wasn't a big thing. I didn't even know you could play volleyball at a young age. Like, I was one of very few girls that went to play in college out of the whole state of Alabama. To be honest, there's a very few and small group of us. And so I don't know what she would say. She'd probably laugh at you and be like, yeah, good joke, you know? But it's just something that you don't really dream of, especially, like, I didn't grow up watching it like Bex. Like, growing up here in Nebraska, like, she's seen that her whole life. I didn't. I thought it was you go be a cheerleader for the football team. That's how it is in the South, or you play softball. And so for me, it was something that I had no idea what world I was stepping into, and I'm so grateful I did. I almost tried out for cheer instead, so thank God I didn't do that.
Yeah. Big win.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.